costing you clients in 2025.
Welcome to the Modern Insurance Agent Podcast.
We're your host, David and Elle Denning.
What happens when a millennial couple dives headfirst into the insurance world, scales $1 million remote business, and decides to share the journey with the world?
You get the Modern Insurance Agent.
Here, we reveal the messy, magical, and sometimes hilarious realities of building a business and a life you love.
From traveling the globe to building remote teams. Yes, even working remotely on top of a mountain in the Philippines. We're sharing insights, strategies, and plenty of laughs to help agents and entrepreneurs succeed.
Because, let's face it, success isn't just about hitting numbers.
It's about designing a life that works for you.
So let's dive in and build something extraordinary together.
If one more agent says, I'm posting, but nothing's happening, I swear I'm going to turn into a motivational meme. We hear it all the time.
Yeah, it's not the algorithm, it's your approach. We're about to roast the biggest mistakes that agents make and show you how to actually get results without selling your soul to cold DMs or cringy content.
And we're going to have fun with it. And we say roast, we don't mean you. We just mean, the methods.
Of course, not you.
Yes, exactly. Not you. We're going to show you how to get past those challenges, right? So you guys can rock it and not have to do any outbound because they all come to you, right? And that's what we're talking about today. So these questions that we're going to be answering in today's podcast, it came from our group, our clients, and some of y'all who've been brave enough to comment publicly and drop those questions on our posts in the Facebook group. So we really appreciate you guys. Shout out, respect to you guys there on that one. But first, before we hop into anything else, as always, where can agents get all the show notes, all the goodies, cheat sheets, everything we put together for them?
Yep, they can head on over to jumpstartgonow.com/podcast and download our marketing cheat sheet, all of the show notes, so many podcast good nuggets, golden nuggets there for marketing, as well as check out our past episodes on YouTube and your favorite podcast platforms like Spotify, Apple, and more.
Awesome. So in this episode, we're going to fix your feed, your strategy, maybe even your self-esteem. So let's dive in and let's go. And to be honest, confidence is one key thing when it comes to social that I think a lot of people need help with. And that's what we love doing. So let's hop into some of the first questions around the social media stuff that you're all getting twisted. Like you're all trying to figure out what's up on this, what's going on, how can we help with that? So, what should I be posting on social media? And the answer is not necessarily your lunch, although that can be okay. And definitely not your carrier stock photos or the hearsay social stuff or any of that stuff. Content should either build trust, make someone laugh, or both, but it's all about the being human, the connection, the authority, authenticity, with a mix of the personal and the business, which I'm sure we'll talk about.
Wait, can we back up for a second?
Let's back up. Reverse.
Did you say not my carrier's materials that they provide to me?
No.
Those lovely graphics and infographics that, some designer sat behind a computer painstakingly designing for hours. I'm not supposed to post that on my social? What, David? They told me I was supposed to. They told me that was social media marketing.
You can. It's not really going to do anything though, right? Let's be honest. Like that's not adding any authority to you. It's not adding any trust to you. It's a standardized graphic you're not even in that's got a carrier logo on it. The only thing that helps, if anything, and even then not really that much, is the carrier, right? And at the end of the day, you want people working with you. You just happen to represent a carrier potentially, but like at the end of the day, that trust rapport who's they're going to be going through to purchase that insurance. You want that to be you, of course, right? So if I'm not, I'm not in it and it's not coming from me, that doesn't help really with anything. So what can I do with that information in those graphics instead?
Yeah. One of our best tips is to, not that the information that your carrier is giving you or putting out to the public is bad in any way, because usually that information is actually amazing. It's necessary. People need it. It's just the style in which graphics are usually created now that have this very like corporate branding. They do not perform well on social media. It's just the reality of 2025. That type of content was very popular back in 2018, 2017. But with the rise of TikTok, short form content, more and more video content, and the rise of platforms in general, more and more people want to see people. They want to see faces. They want to see people on video. They want to hear their voices. They want to see movement.
Hello.
All of these things are trends on social media, not the infographics, as beautiful as they typically are and as well designed as they usually are. They do not perform well in the way of catching attention, stopping the scroll, or standing out in any way. So we can still repurpose this content. We can still talk about this content, pull out the points of the graphic that really stood out to you. There's a reason why you want to share it on your social media. You probably think that it is valuable in some way. But one of the things that you can do is repurpose that piece of content, that graphic, in your own words by creating a video about it. Now that we have AI and ChatGPT, I would totally take that carrier graphic, upload it to ChatGPT and say, write me a 15-second viral video based off of this graphic, and have it create a video script for me that I can then record and post on my social media channel. So that way I'm still getting the message, I'm still getting that value out to my audience, but now I'm using my own personal brand, my own voice, my own face, which is going to do a lot more for me in brand recognition when people are associating me with this valuable content, educational content, instead of my carrier. Because at the end of the day, people don't work with businesses, they work with people.
I love that. So less corporate, fight the system, fight the power. Just kidding. But be yourself, right? Like, we want that. That's where the trust happens. That's where deciding who they work with happens. That's where you get to communicate the value and educate them on these things, is from that side, not from the corporate, clip of content that's put out, right? So make sure that you're communicating value, your personality, and showing proof on that side. Show who you are, who you help, and why they should care, right? So, so with that, we're talking a little bit more. As far as what I'm posting, yes, it's you, it's your life, it's you being human, because that's where trust report, also how the algorithm works. So yeah, what does that mean? That means me, my family, pets, sports, personal development, travel, hobbies, entrepreneurship, coffee outside. All these things fall in to you, who you are, right? Like, it's going to be specific to you. And then the business side needs to be educational. Is honestly, that's what works. Social isn't a billboard, so they come get insurance from me, save on your insurance. Like, hey, you have insurance on your phone, but not your family. You don't care about them. None of that stuff works, right? That's not what social is built for. But the educational side does work, helps position you as authority, and goes right along with that personal aspect. So should be a mix of those on that side. So with that though, like we post, right? But if it's crickets, that's not good, right? We don't want crickets. So how do I get engagement, Elle?
Yeah, so I love talking about this topic because it's so important and it's so critically missed. When people are thinking about social media marketing, they immediately think about the content that they're creating. And of course, that is a key piece of it. But honestly, you could gain visibility, followers, and trust without even posting a single piece of content. I know that is probably a wild idea, but it is absolutely true. And actually, a recent conference that we just went to, somebody talked about just 5 comments a day is the highest value activity that you can be doing on social media to show up and build trust. What am I talking about? I'm talking about engagement, and that engagement starts with you. If you're not commenting, if you're not sending messages, you're not starting conversations. Do not expect to get visibility on a platform if all you're doing is posting content and then logging off of that platform. If you're not engaging, if you're not actually going to where your audience is going, and that means like finding Facebook groups that they're hanging out, finding other content creators that they're following and engaging with them, you can't expect for your content to pick up steam and pick up visibility.
Yeah, your prospects aren't going to put a ring on it to become clients unless you start engaging, so they engage, right? So that was a terrible pun, but it worked in my head as a part of that. But it's something with engagement. I don't know. It all ties together somewhere. But like she was saying, it's not just content. Is conversation. Ultimately, that's why we're leveraging social in the first place. That's why you would leverage social, why our clients leverage social. It's not just to have pretty pictures or to talk about what they know. I mean, they can do that in a lot of places, but social media is designed to connect and get in conversation, which is agents, what you spend most of your day trying to do. For those that are smiling and dialing, you spend most of your day just trying to get someone to answer to try to get in a conversation, right? And if you're going out doing grassroots and door knocking and going out to events, you're trying to go there to have conversations with people. So I'm talking about using a platform that's literally built for it, has billions of people, and is literally designed to make that happen. And that's why we're talking about this. It's not just what I post. It's the point is to get into those conversations. Like Elle said, I don't even care if I'm posting anything if I'm getting into conversations. So let's make sure that's happening. If you're not, you're a community builder at the end of the day, not a billboard. So I want to make these connections. I want to have this community. I want to have this tribe of followers, of prospects, of clients that love me, people referring business to me. And I can do all of that through social. And I don't have to go there just like pitch insurance, right? In fact, that doesn't really work so well. Social isn't a billboard at all. And so it's where we come to connect, build trust, and engage. And also, have fun even while we're doing it.
But David, how do I send a direct message without being weird? Can I do that to somebody I don't know? Isn't that cringy?
I don't know. Like, can you go up to someone at an event or somewhere in person and start a conversation without being weird? Like, are you capable of that? And I ask that sincerely because some people, it's tough or the most frightening thing, right? True. And maybe even less frightening on social where I don't have to physically stare at them as I'm sending them a message. But absolutely, we can talk to people without being cringy, weird, or awkward. Like, it's just starting a conversation, especially if I relate it to something that they're interested in, or something like I saw they have a dog. I have dogs too. We live in the same neighborhood. Kids go to the same school. We're both entrepreneurs or run businesses. Actually, one of the easiest people to connect with because they run businesses also. Or we're talking about sports, something we have in common, location. There's a million and one ways to start a conversation, guys, without being weird or odd, especially if we connected through like maybe a Facebook group or a common post, or we got friends in common. All ways to start a conversation. Oh, you know Bob? I know Bob too. How do you know Bob? Oh, fantastic. Here we go. Right. And so there's a lot of ways to start those conversations, especially if the socials warmed them up a little bit. So now we're ready to hop into a conversation, which is exactly what it does.
Love it. And so good. I loved your response there. Well, can you walk up to somebody and start a conversation with them without it being weird?
I hope so. If not, practice, guys. Practice. Listen, like grab someone from the Facebook group or from another listener on the podcast or someone from your office and be like, hey, let's practice just talking to each other. I know it sounds silly, but honestly, that's what this business is connecting with people, finding their needs, finding solutions to those needs and helping them, right? And then continuing to get referrals, your brand building as a part of that. And that's all coming from conversations and talking to people. So if you're not great at talking to people, it's something to practice and a skill set you want to get great at. Just like if I wanted to be a basketball player, I want to be shooting shots and free throws and stuff every day to get better at it. Well, if my goal is talking to people every day, I need to be talking to people.
Love it. All right. So let's tackle a question that we get all of the time. And
absolutely,
that is, what's the best platform for insurance agents to be
I'm going to let you
on?
know a secret. Hands down, no one's using this. 100% MySpace.
Wait, not Zynga?
Oh, sorry, Zanga. My bad, right? Just kidding. If you're old enough to remember those or ever, make sure you got life insurance in place. But yes, no. It's where your people are, right? And so does that mean hands down there's a best platform? No, there is not a best platform. There's some better than others or easier than others, or based on who I focus on for my target audience better fits, right? But there is no like, this is the best platform for everybody. If I was going to narrow it down just generally for most people, most target markets, and ease of not having to create as much content for it, so it's easier for agents to get used to it and leverage it, I would say Facebook. But all the platforms can be amazing if I'm using them the right way and my audience is there. My audience isn't there, it's not really going to help me too much, right? And so spoiler, or not so much of a spoiler since I already spoiled it, Facebook is probably going to be one of the easier ones. And you don't need to hop on TikTok and do TikTok if you can't handle Facebook yet. And if you're not willing and have gotten comfortable with video, right? Like TikTok is literally a video platform. So that's where most agents would rather like murder me in my sleep than do the 3 videos plus a day on TikTok that it really requires. Whereas Facebook, a lot simpler, a lot more straightforward, a lot less content. So if you're not ready to become the next, Brad Pitt or Tom Cruise on videos on TikTok, then let's start with Facebook where that's not necessary.
Yeah. And the point really being to master 1 before jumping into 5. Simple always wins. And I see this happen a lot. It's a non-starter for a lot of agents when they hear social media marketing, and instantly they think that means that they need to be on every single platform multiple times per day. That is a lot. We are marketers, and we primarily focus on one platform, that one platform being Facebook. That doesn't mean that we're not on other platforms, that we're not experimenting with other platforms, but we have one repeatable strategy that works really, really well for us, that we have super dialed in on one platform. And we have so many clients that this is the same for them too. They've built multi-6-figure businesses, some of them even 7-figure businesses, just using one platform. So when you're just getting started with social media marketing, don't make it even harder for yourself by trying to be everywhere when you really just need one process, one system that works on one platform.
Yeah, we don't need to everything everywhere all at once, guys. No. Which, crazy movie that'll blow your mind a little bit.
Your brain.
But yes, it'll hurt your brain. Or at least it did mine. But same thing with social. Let's not be everywhere all at once. Let's be one place effectively and then go from there, right? Then I can add team, I can get help on stuff, but trying to do one all once, you're not even gonna have time to write policies, even if people are coming through, which once again, is kind of the point, right? So question was, what's the easiest way to build a network? Is volunteer work a good idea? Yeah, I mean, volunteering can be great, but really, if I really break down building a network, is I find something I'm interested in, which maybe it is volunteer work, and something I have a cause that I'm passionate about or very interested in helping, a fantastic way to build a community. But it could also be a million other things. It could be through sports. Like if I'm really into pickleball, there's a ton of pickleball communities. I'm into fitness. I'm into gaming, board games. There's a place right next to our office that is a big gaming store, has hundreds and hundreds of people all the time. Like it's very, very active, and there's whole communities over there. It could be travel. It could be church and faith-based communities. All these things are great ways to build networks. I find it's easier if it's something I actually love, enjoy, and the people I like to be around. And even better if that's my target audience, of course, too, if those tie together. But yeah, I mean, building a network, don't force yourself to build one in something that you have no interest in or don't enjoy. But let's take something that you do like or interested in, putting in place, and let's build a network around there. And if that is volunteer work, man, what a noble way to build a really great network.
Love it.
Cool. All right. So let's hop into a few other questions we got here on lead generation and, where are my clients problem, right? Which is exactly what we kind of just started leading into a little bit. So Elle, how do I get leads from content? How does that happen? Is it like magic fairy dust?
Yeah, just magic. That wouldn't, that as cool as that sounds, I don't think that'd be very effective because it wouldn't be strategic at all. It would just be willy-nilly if you get leads from your content. But just like anything marketing, social media marketing, it is a strategy. And one of the things is that you want to make sure that you're not trying to sell cold or go, we say this a lot, you don't want to ask your audience to marry you before you've even gone on the first date.
You like I should put a ring on it.
We see this happen so much. And I understand, especially because, when you start marketing organically, you're putting a lot of work into it. You're building a new skill. You're likely having to overcome some mindset blocks. And it's a lot. And so you want those conversions right away from it. And it's not that that can't happen. For a lot of our clients, it does happen pretty quickly. But sort of changing the mindset around it, that you are building a relationship with this audience, with your prospects. You want to shift from a selling mindset into a nurturing mindset. Your content builds your pipeline. What we were talking about, building that rapport, getting on video, sharing your, actually sharing your voice, doing selfie content, being that resource for your audience. And then in comments is going to be really where you first connect with people and they start commenting on your content, or you're going and you're interacting with people in Facebook groups. You're providing value to them. You're answering questions. You're establishing yourself as that resource. And it's indirect message that the doors to the conversation, that one-to-one door, really starts to open up. Either people are going to start reaching out to you. Once they start recognizing you as that authority, they're going to start reaching out to you and asking you questions. That's what this inbound lead gen ultimately looks like is, oh, well, I saw this, or I saw that you look like you're in insurance or life insurance. Can you help me with this? I have this problem. This is what's going on. My mom needs help. Things like this, as things come up in people's lives, they start reaching out. And what this strategy does is, we talk about audiences. Generally 90% of any given audience is going to be ready to buy at some point in the future. 90%. You want to be top of mind when they are ready to buy in the future. That means 10% is ready to buy today, which we want to be present for them. But as that 90% becomes warmed up and ready to buy, you want to be the person that they're reaching out to, and that's top of mind. And that's what your content strategy does.
I love it. I mean, so it's not just the content to warm them up, but it's now moving this to conversations, right? This is where the appointments happen, where everything comes from. So if someone, on a piece of content, I'm educating on the difference between term life or whole life, maybe I do an educational piece, right? And say, oh, love it. Or, they respond, great, or whatever. Fantastic. Well, what am I going to do? Oh, they said great. No, I'm going to respond and say, oh, yeah, thank you. Appreciate that. What did you find most interesting about that? Or what stuck out to you? Oh, the importance of having something in place for the, not the what if, but the wins, and putting something in place there. It's like, yeah, no, a lot of people don't have that. Is that something you have in place? Oh, I don't, but it's probably something I should. Hey, let's connect. Now I'm sending a private message. Now we're setting up an appointment, but I'm having a conversation and I'm asking questions. I'm being human, but I'm doing it from also making sure they have things in place, right? Like my discovery process comes from asking questions. So I want to be human and ask questions. I don't want to they say great and I say, hey, would you like some life insurance? That's not where we go in the conversation. We do treat it just like a normal conversation, but it comes from these interactions. So I'm going to have call to actions in my content. I'm going to provide value. I'm going to follow up with people that are connecting on these things to get in these conversations. But you don't need more leads, just need better strategy. And you can pull across all the leads, all the opportunities you need from social media and organically, like we mentioned, which leads me to the next question. What's better, organic or paid?
It's a little bit of a little loaded question. I honestly believe in both. And why are both so powerful?
So organic builds the brand, right? So organic is where I get to establish who I am, what I do, make these connections, build trust, who I am as an authority, and bring business in that way. Whereas paid scales up what works, right? It's like pouring gas on a fire to make that fire even bigger. Because if I try to go do paid and I don't know my target market, I don't know their pain points, I don't exist to them. No one knows who I am. I don't maybe even have like, clients, and proof of what I've done or being positioned as authority. All these things make paid very difficult, especially not knowing my audience and how to speak to them, because then I might not even be getting in front of my target audience as a part of that too. So paid doesn't solve an organic problem. Paid just is pouring gas on a fire of successful organic to push it even farther and be able to capitalize on even more at that point. So if your organic sucks, paid's not going to save you.
Absolutely. And we've had people build six-figure businesses, multi-six-figure businesses, seven-figure businesses, just with the personal Facebook without doing any paid ads. So organic by itself can be very, very effective. But ads, like David said, you really pour gas on that fire, put more gas in your tank to go faster and further.
Love it. Yeah. You tell we're into F1, so we do like racing.
Push.
So push, right? Yeah. So, all right. So, gonna hop into a few other questions around personal brand and corporate, and kind of what we referenced a little bit. But how do I ultimately build a personal brand and trust through social, and why is that even important?
Yeah. So I say this. You have major insurance companies, some of the biggest players in this space, like Progressive, State Farm, Allstate, Geico, Liberty Mutual, that are investing millions of dollars into personal branding. Like we think about State Farm, we think about Jake from State Farm, Flo from Progressive, Mayhem from Allstate, the Gecko from Geico. These are personal brands. You have massive organizations and companies that could honestly do whatever they wanted to do with their marketing dollars, with some of the smartest people and teams, and they are developing campaigns around personal branding. You, as the individual agent, solo agency owner, or small agency owner, have something that these big brands do not have, and that is a personality, a face. You have a backstory. You have things that make you uniquely you, and a mission on why you do the things that you do. And these are the things that make personal branding so effective and also so powerful on social media. So you want to be seen, you want to be known, you want to be trusted, and it all starts with showing up as you, not your IMO's logo or your carrier's branding.
I've had that conversation today, and I have it probably 10 to 20 times a week on people branding themselves as their carrier, their IMO, their FMO, even independents, doing so. And it's like, at the end of the day, that brand is you. It needs to be you, your agency. And when it comes to Facebook, they're linking from their personal profile to the IMO or carrier's business page, which if someone goes to that and then works with a different agent, that doesn't help you at all. And you're the one they connected with. You're the one they have some trust with, right? So build your brand. If you're going to have a business page, have it for you and your agency, not for a page that doesn't even have your contact info that they go to and then work with that company. Those companies don't need our help with their branding. They're already spending plenty of money on that. It's you that needs help with your branding and needs the business coming in. So that's why we're talking to you right now, right? So people buy from people. You want referrals, get remembered, build those connections, and you get more and more from it. So we want to build that through the social side. Now, part of that, and a common question we get is, do I really need to be on video? The answer, yes. Next question.
If your face isn't on your feed, you're just noise. Video shortens the trust cycle so much. I cannot emphasize this enough. By simply getting on video, showing your face, and allowing people to hear your voice, see how you move, you are creating so much trust and rapport with them. And you're also doing it in a very leveraged way, because even just 100 views on a video, which doesn't really seem like that many in today's world, that's 100 people that are seeing you and seeing your content. Like, where would you have to present, or how many networking events would you have to go to? How many hands would you have to shake to be able to deliver your message to 100 people? And we can do it within 30 seconds of a short form video reel. The day and age that we live in is absolutely amazing. The tools that we have are astounding. And I continue to say that this is the best time to be building a business with the tools that we have available to us today.
And if you think 100 is not a lot, I mean, I just think about standing up in a class of 20 people in high school and having a talk in front of people who already know you and are friends with you, and how you almost passed out and died from having to stand up and talk for 5 minutes, right? And you're like, oh, okay, maybe 100 is a lot of people. Maybe it's a good bit of that or auditorium now looking at me or ever as a part of that. That's the opportunity we have on social, and we don't even have to stare at them or predict them in their underwear when we, are making a video. I mean, you can if you want to, but hey, I'm not judging. But with that, like, we all basically have the opportunity to have our own television shows, our own radio show, like where we're getting to be in front of people, them see us, hear us, know who we are, that didn't exist in the past. And you can go do that for free on social and impact a ton of people. And that's what we're talking about. And the right people, not just random people, but the right people, which leads to a question on like, how do your comments, what you're doing, go beyond the people that you're just friends on Facebook with? And yes, part of what my content, what I'm doing on my personal profile is going to go majorly to those I'm connected with, which means I want to build that with the right connections, my target audience, potential strategic referral partners, centers of influence, and clients and prospects are the ones I really want to build with that audience and continue building that. So if you're not connecting and building that, you should be each day. But also there's ways to get outside of that with like Reels. Reels primarily go to people that I'm not connected with and are great discovery process. And then also Facebook groups, wonderful way to get in front of people that I'm not directly connected with, but are my target audiences or potential referral partners, and get in there. So that's a great way to do it. And then there was another question on basically like, yeah, if we see people with life-changing events on social, is that a good opportunity to get in, comment, and talk to them about, what's going on with this life-changing event, which probably affects something related to their insurance? And yes, that is absolutely a great opportunity as I spot someone getting married, divorced, and a new pet, moving into a home, selling a home. Parents are downsizing. They're getting ready to retire. Their parents just retired. All these are life-changing events, and a lot of it, having a kid. That's one, right? Having a kid is definitely one. And so these are things I want to congratulate people with, or comment on, or support them in, right? And make sure you do that, because those are really important times for them, and also really important for the insurance side too. So hopping in. So to referral partners, niches, and networking. So how do I get referrals from other businesses? Because that would be nice if they sent me stuff.
Yeah, again, it's shifting that mindset away from asking people to marry you before they've even gone on the first date with you. So we see this a lot too, of like agents automatically just thinking like, it would be amazing if I had a real estate agent or a loan officer that just sent me a bunch of referrals all of the time. And that's just like what they have in their mind. And they have no idea how to actually make that happen. I really do think that this starts a little bit with the mindset shift at the very beginning. And you really want to think about how you can add value to your referral partners. And if you don't know what that is, then you can start by asking them. Ask how you can help them. Ask how you can support them. Get really curious about their business. Ask them questions about how they got started in the business. What type of clients are good clients for them? What makes a good referral for them? If you are referring somebody over, how would you prefer that introduction? Do you like email? Do you like Facebook message? Would you like a group text? Like, ask them these questions. Ask what you can do for them first, not how they can help you. So by leading with value, by also showing your referral partners that you follow through, I think this is a big thing in business. A lot of times people even get together and they'll be like, yeah, we want to collaborate together. We want to do something together. But then there's like a lack of follow through on what that next step actually looks like. And then the relationship fizzles and nothing really happens there. So being a person that when you have these conversations, you have a good idea about how you could support each other in business, make sure that you're taking the next step and following through with that.
Love that. Like you said, bring value first. What are some ways to do this? Events, content collabs, doing lives together. All of this stuff builds relationship capital and are a great way to connect with these other businesses. I can provide value just by asking them about their business and how to help support. A lot of times they'll just tell you, oh man, leaving a Google review would be big if you could help me with that. Or, hey, I've got an upcoming event. If you could share about that event, that post, that would be really helpful for me. Or, hey, I'm setting up for an open house. I could really use someone to come by and just help me set up a few chairs, and I'll introduce you to the new, people looking to buy new homes that are a target audience for your mortgage protection side. Yeah, fantastic, right? So there's a lot of ways to provide that value, and it all starts with the conversation and asking them. And that's why I think this is one of the most powerful and easiest, honestly, uses of stuff like social media is getting connect with other business owners who also want to connect as well, and getting to talk to them about their businesses, which they're happy to talk about, and then finding synergy and opportunities in there, right? Like there's some of the most open to connect, because if I own a business and people are reaching out, hey, they could be talking to me about my business. If I don't have any business and I'm not an entrepreneur, hey, why are you reaching out to me? Who are you? A little bit, right? And so it's even easier with business owners. And when I'm building relationships with them, I'm not talking about one opportunity. I'm talking about continuous opportunities, especially if they work my target audience. So highly leveraged way to use social media. So with that, how do I stand out in a saturated agent area, right? Well, I think a lot of people are like, insurance itself, they think is saturated, which, is not true at all, especially for the amount of need out there. But let's say there's a lot of agents, or, just my area is really saturated.
Yeah, so consistency is one of the biggest things that's going to help you stand out. That's going to be on social media, with your referral relationships, and then also with your clients as well. Don't be like a one-hit wonder. We're not looking to be the brightest star that burns in the sky and then fizzles out because we burned up all of our energy.
Not the Rebecca Black with Friday. I don't know if she ever made another song after that. So
I don't think most people even know who she is.
Well, then that's another reason we don't want to be a one-hit wonder.
So we're not looking to be that shooting, blazing star. We're looking to be, like the moon in the sky that's there every night. And I don't know if that's working or not, but we want to be consistent and always being in our audience feeds. So being consistent with social media, like don't be the person that goes like wild on social media. You're doing all of the things, but then it's super unsustainable and you can't be consistent with it. So then you just stop. Same thing with your referral relationships. You want to be consistent with following up with your contacts, making sure that you're adding those touch points, even if it's an email, a handwritten note, a Facebook message, just checking in with them, setting up Zoom calls, planning those collaborations. Like, don't try to develop 50 relationships all at once. Pick a handful, maybe 2 or 3 a quarter that you really want to focus on and deepen and do some sort of special collaboration with. With your clients, do not be the agent that sells a policy and then they never hear from you again. You don't want to be that agent. You want to develop follow-up, touch points, get connected with your clients on social media so that you can allow your social media to stay top of mind with them and to be connected with them. Be consistent in these areas, and I guarantee you're going to stand out from a majority of most agents.
And I'll say this too, saturated means there's a big need and it's a great opportunity if something is saturated. So like there's a lot of agents, sure, but there's not, an incredible amount of successful agents, right? Because, part of this is that differentiation, having connections, building authority and building your brand, right? And that's where most agents don't do any of these things. And that's why it's so important. And so how do I stick out? Well, you are unique. Every person's unique. Every person has the way they talk, the way they help people, their background, their experiences, what they're passionate about, and let that stand out. Social is a great way to show show that. So I am unique. It's hard to compete against something that's unique because it's unique, right? Like it's not a commodity. Agents aren't a commodity, right? Every agent's different and maybe has different target markets, which is another way to stand out in a saturated area. I'm a life agent. Oh, I specifically help young parents that have toddlers that own a home and are thinking about their kids' financial futures and planning how can they grow their wealth for retirement. Like, oh, that's a very specific audience, right? And that's me. Cool. I definitely want to talk and connect with you, right? So there's a lot of ways to stand out, but that consistency of messaging, like Elle mentioned, is key. And that's what social rewards. Doing 20 posts in a day and then nothing for the next week isn't going to help you that much. So consistency with showing up there and with your messaging is key, and doing it in a fun way so that personality comes across too. So lots of ways to stand out. And then especially as I'm building referral partners and authority in that area, I just get more and more the go-to person with the area I focus on. So with that, guys, your questions matter, and everything that we've taken the time to answer, talk through today, which we'll be doing more future episodes. But it only matters if you're willing to take action on the answers. So if you're asking questions or listening to these questions, but then not going and taking action on those answers and putting the things in place, then it doesn't really help anything. So action is always what leads to opportunities and results. That's why I don't emphasize just learning, because learning doesn't mean anything unless it's put into place there. So if you took the time to listen to this podcast, listen to these questions, make sure you actually go use those answers and put these things in place so that you can have the results from it.
And if any of this hits home, go binge the podcast or join us inside of the Closers Click, where we actually build the strategy behind the answers.
Thanks for hanging with us. And don't forget to check out the last week's episode if you missed it, and share this one with an agent who's stuck in the content grind. And make sure to grab the show notes, marketing cheat sheet, downloads, all the goodies that we have for you at jumpstartgonow.com/podcast.
Thanks for tuning in to the Modern Insurance Agent Podcast. Go post something today. You've got everything that you need.